Yeah, I know, right? Okay, I hear somebody. I see you here. I know, right? I am. Am I in Periscope land?
You're live on Periscope.
Hello, Periscope land. It's Lashana Williams, CEO of Women's Journey to Success and author of the new book, The Stranger. One Woman's Journey to Self-Love. And today, this is my book launch and book signing. And thank you to all who came out. Thank you for all who ate the food. Thank you to all who purchased and who will purchase the book. So thank you. I can't touch my lips. My makeup artist said on my makeup. But at least until I read this book. So what I'm going to do now is just read a few passages from the sections. So just to give you a little backstory on the book. It's one woman's journey, but it's my journey. Like, whatever. So it's my journey to self-love. And it's broken up into 3 parts. The first part is self-image. So it's me struggling through not loving myself, not seeing the woman that I guess other people saw. Me thinking that I wasn't good enough, wasn't pretty enough, smart enough.
Lies.
Yeah.
Lies.
Yes. Yeah, whatever. Got my tissue.
I thought the tea was coming 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying.
Look, you knew it was good.
What you bring the bar to say about that?
Oh, she was trying. She said, you know, you got stuff under your eyes, right? So, okay. And then the second part is self-worth. And that I could talk about. Because that was 3 relationships that I was in that were very unhealthy. So one was, I went through physical abuse. One was verbal abuse. And one was emotional abuse. So I talk about those through the book and how I was victorious, or God saved me. Amen.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then there's the third part of the book, which is self-confidence, which I will admit I am still working on. It talks about the self-confidence in the way you walk, the way you dress, and even your professional confidence. That's the piece that I'm working on. So, I am going to stop crying. I'm going to pat myself a little bit more. And I'm going to read 3 passages. And if y'all have any questions or whatever, just let me know. And hopefully I didn't take off too much of my makeup. Okay. So, let's see.
Someone said, "Hey, beautiful, you look great. Congratulations."
Oh, thank you. Okay. Here we go. This is on page 22 of the book. And get your book. Women, you can go to my website, lashanacoaches.com. And The Stranger Within is out there, and you can go buy your copy. I will tell you a little secret, is also out there on Amazon.com. Yes.
Woo!
So, okay, let me, so on page 22. So you will never amount to anything. You will never be more than another statistic, pregnant and at the age of 18 and on welfare. Close your eyes and imagine being a small, helpless child and hearing these words from your mother's closest friends, or even worse, members of your own family. As a child, I didn't understand why the adults in my life, whom I trusted and were supposed to protect me, constantly told me that I was a failure who wasn't going to amount to anything when I grew up. Whew. Child, let me take off this jacket. Okay. The words sting today just as much as they did so many years ago. My success or lack thereof was a reoccurring topic of discussion. Sometimes the discussion lasted a few minutes, but there were times when the discussion seemed like it went on forever. Any conversation would seem like forever if you're the one put in the spotlight. And worst of all, you're unable to defend yourself. So unfortunately, I heard the words going to be a failure and not going to succeed more times than I can count. Pat myself.
I'm so sorry.
As a defense mechanism, I erased many of these conversations from my memory. I hate to think of my emotional state had I remembered every negative word that was spoken from the mouths of certain adults in my life. However, there was one conversation that has been imprinted in my memory like a tattoo and has been nearly impossible for me to forget. Growing up, my bedroom was right next to the kitchen and dining room. In New York, we had small. It was small. The house was like this big, right? So anyway, I heard everything. With each room being in such close proximity, it was easy for me to hear adult conversations about topics that were far too grown for my young adolescent ears. It was equally difficult for me to ignore conversations where I was the topic of discussion. As a child, I must have listened to hundreds of conversations that to today I would deem inappropriate for any child to hear. But none of the conversations emotionally scarred me like this one conversation that took place right outside my bedroom door. With a bewildered look on my face, I remained completely still as I listened with my ears pressed to my bedroom door, while my mother's friends, Charles and Bernard, debated the reason for my inevitable unsuccessful future. They debated whether my failure would be due to the demise of the public school system, which would result in my inability to receive an acceptable education and therefore make it unlikely for me to get a decent paying job in the future. Well, anyway.
She called them out too, Charles and Bernard. Looking
Or
for them.
was my foretold failure due to my infatuation with boys, which meant I would start having sex before high school and get pregnant before graduation? Or was I just a product of my environment and as such, possessed with a poverty mentality, mentally incapable of advancing any further than the surrounding blocks of my neighborhood? Should I stop there? I couldn't believe they would condemn me to a life of failure before my 21st birthday. Or better yet, my high school graduation. I was only a child, for goodness sake. A child with nothing but possibilities. Ooh.
Breathe through it, friend. You got it.
Can I have a drink of wine?
What kind of family we come from?
A child with nothing but possibilities, who could have been anything she wanted to be with the right guidance. A child who needed the adults in her life to support and protect her, not adults who eagerly awaited the train wreck they foretold in my life. Tears streamed down my little face as I continued to listen to their hurtful conversation. Whew. Because of the close proximity of my room, they must have known I could hear every word, which confirmed they were trifling.
Word. Say word.
Yeah, they were trifling individuals who didn't care about crushing the hopes and dreams of a young, innocent child. With the volume of their voices almost at a loud scream, it was as if they wanted me to hear every negative dream crushing word. Okay, I'm done with this section.
Yes.
Woo.
Thank you.
That was part of part one, which is the self-image part. And that was only one chapter. So, read the rest. And let me know, okay, before I pat off all my face, let me get through the other two.
It's still funny in the midst of all of this.
I'm trying, girl. You gotta laugh, right? Especially since
you won.
Okay.
Right.
Woo, okay. Which one do I want to go to here? You know what? Let me read page 62. Daddy's Little Girl. And let me just tell you about the other thing about this book every chapter in the book, except for the chapter that is for you to like go through exercises, is a title of a movie. Because my escape was movies. And in the back of the book, there is a playlist to every chapter, to every section in the book. So there's a lot of Jay-Z.
Word.
There's a lot of Jay-Z. Big up Beyonce.
Right.
Hopefully she's looking at this scope.
She is. Don't worry. She'll catch you.
So there's a playlist in the back because movies and music were my escape. So, and I still love music to this day. Okay, here we go. Daddy's Little Girl. This is page 62. I was a very confused child, looking for attention and love in all the wrong places. I grew up without a father, which I believe made me yearn for affection from the opposite sex. I'm a firm believer that a girl needs her father or some other positive male role model. He should be the example of the type of man she should date. He should teach her how to be a lady in a world where women are degraded in videos, television, music, etc. And he should treat her like a princess or a queen, so she would never allow anyone to treat her any less. Unfortunately, my father taught me that love hurts and men leave. Ooh, okay. Who wrote this book? Okay. Whether the birth of a child is planned or is one of life's pleasant surprises, the child is an inactive participant in this decision. A child doesn't have a choice on a choice on who its parents will be or what type of life they will have upon their entrance into the world. This wasn't any different from me when I was forced into the world kicking and screaming. If given a choice, would I have chosen to be born at a different time, if at all? Would I have chosen to be born without a father? At various stages in my life, the answer to these questions may have been different. Today, I believe that no matter the circumstances, my birth was a blessing. However, I also know that the absence of my father or any positive male figure severely impacted my life. Although I didn't know his name or even what he looked like, wouldn't recognize him if he passed me in the street, there always seemed to be something missing in my life. It's like knowing that you need something, but you're not really sure what it is. You just know without it, you're incomplete. As a child, there was a hole in my heart that needed to be filled. Unfortunately, this need became so prevalent that I wanted it from anyone and in any way I could get it. Before I was in the first grade, I remember trying to discover my father's identity. And y'all gonna laugh at this. I asked questions after questions, day after day. I don't know whether my mother's answer was the result of being worn down for my questioning or playing a joke at my expense. But whatever the reason, when she said my father was the man singing the song and that was playing in the background, I believed her. I needed to believe her. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Okay. Yep. Was blasting from the speaker. So based on what my mother said, my father was Stevie Wonder.
Say word.
Upon hearing this, the hollowness in my heart was removed. My father was Stevie Wonder, the famous musician and songwriter. He didn't abandon me. He was just busy on tour and making albums, but he spoke to me through his songs, or so I believed at the time. Today I laugh at the thought that I actually believed Stevie Wonder was my father, but I was a child and in need of a father. So every night after learning my father's identity, I played his album, got on my rocking horse, and sang with the music as loud as I could. Playing his albums made him real to me. I was able to feel his presence without him actually being there. For a brief moment in my life, I was complete. I was happy and I was loved. And then that section goes on how, that didn't happen anymore. And then it goes on to the 3 unhealthy relationships. Mm-hmm. But that was the funny part of, one of the funny parts.
Awesome.
Because the book is written so that it's a conversation between you and I. Mm-hmm. So it's written so that you were on my journey with me. So I do have some commentary and some funny moments or whatever. So, yes.
Good
But
job.
Let me go to the third part of the book. And let's see. I'm looking for, this is going to be a, oh, y'all need to sit down? Oh, okay.
Talking about our heels.
Let's see, the pursuit of happiness. I wanted to get to a part, and I apologize because there was one section that I wanted to get to that I may not be able to find right now.
Take your time.
Y'all sure? On Periscope Land, y'all good over there?
Yeah, they're
too?
good. They're giving hearts, so we're
Okay,
good.
So yes, okay. Okay, I wanted to talk about when I came to Atlanta, actually. Okay, so let me just go to this. Okay, I spent the first few weeks in Atlanta surrounded by my family, day in and day out. This was safe for me. The mere thought of meeting new people was scary. What if they didn't like me once they got to know me? Or what if they betrayed me? As not to become a hermit, I went out occasionally with acquaintances I met through my aunt and cousin. On the surface, acquaintances were enough. What did I really have to offer a friend? I didn't have a full-time job, so funds were low. I didn't have much going on because I was new to the city, and I was different from everyone else, or at least I thought so. The week I mailed out what my bank account deemed as my last car payment, I was offered a position at one of the top companies in Atlanta. I was finally on my way to the life I envisioned many months ago when I decided to move south. My new job not only helped me to restore my confidence, again, here goes that false sense of confidence, because I talk about having false sense of confidence and putting on a mask. It provided me with the funds I needed to start enjoying life. Enjoying life was a little difficult as a loner. My cousin April, April. The one person who has been with me through thick and thin.
Come give her a hug. No, April.
Come over here, April.
Don't have to whine, Amy.
Okay, don't talk over the wine. Okay. The one person who's been with me through thick and thin introduced me to several nice women. However, I was apprehensive about getting too close for fear of being rejected. I was plagued with memories of my teenage years when I was betrayed by my friend since birth, and my years in college when I tried to unsuccessfully fit into 3 different groups. I survived the spring and summer months by being a chameleon, living behind a mask. I tried my best to be a social person, going out every weekend, never passing up the opportunity to attend a social event, and never allowing myself to get close to anyone. Whew. The more I wore the mask, the more miserable I became. Who was I fooling? I wasn't a social butterfly, and to this day, I don't like clubs. Okay? I didn't mind going to a club every once in a while to dance and listen to music. But I preferred to spend my weekends going to dinner and the movies. However, to most people, dinner and movies didn't count as fun. Only lame people have fun eating and watching movies. I know. I am so lame.
Girl, no,
So lame. I'm lame too.
I wore the mask of a social butterfly much longer than I would have liked. And as in times past, the demon of self-hate was able to make an unwanted appearance. The demon of self-hate was slowly making its way into my life. The longer it stayed, the harder it was for me to cultivate friendships or even feel comfortable around people. I longed to have friends who I trusted and with whom I could truly be myself. This is where the demon of self-hate crippled me, as it has so many times in the past. Be yourself? How could you do this when you don't even know who you are? And once they get to know you, they won't like you. Your own mother doesn't like you. She's in one of the chapters, so. I was flooded with every negative word, thought, and emotion from my past. I was defeated, and there was nothing more I could do but to withdraw and give up on the hope of ever having healthy friendships. This went on for almost a year before I finally broke down and shared what I was going through with my cousin April. April over there. She was the only person I trusted at the time and the only person who understood my journey from where I grew up to where I was then. And I'm gonna fast forward to just one thing that just coming to Atlanta that was kind of crazy for me. When I first got to Atlanta, the first thing people would ask me is, where's your church home? And I found that crazy coming from New York, where we didn't talk about church homes. Like, your name, where you worked, and we kept it moving. Like, I was like, what you mean? So, needless to say, I mean, it just became such a prevalent conversation that I put a conversation in here with a random person, and they were like, what's your name? And I was like, me. I was like, Lashana. And they were like, that's a nice name. Thank you. Where you from? And I said, New York. And the person was like, oh, you're a northerner. So trying to contain my composure, because I'm a northerner. Yes, I'm from the north. So where's your church home? I don't go to church. I don't have a church home. Looking at me up and down with judging eyes, you need to find a church home. Everyone has to go to church on Sunday. Me, I'm patiently waiting, impatiently wanting the conversation to end. I said, thank you. I'll look into that. Nice meeting you, not the random person. Nice meeting you too. Let me know if you need the names of a few church homes to visit. I said, I will. I quickly walked away, sucking my teeth and rolling my eyes. But that was just some more of when I came here just feeling like I didn't belong. And it just made me feel like, I don't know, I just had to put on more masks, because not only was I a northerner, but I didn't have a church home. Oh my gosh. And nor did I wanted to find one at the time. So I was like, oh gosh, I'm a heathen, and I'm from the north, and I'm too direct, and I talk too fast. I'm like, goodness gracious. But as time went on, my firm relationship with God, as I did find a church home eventually, gave me the strength to pursue companionship, both male and female. In time, I started spending more and more time with a very interesting group of women. On the outside, it seemed we were a group of well put together women, like we had it going on. But if you looked a little closer, we were a group of sophisticated, crazy, broken, talented women who together would help one another survive the trials and tribulations of life.
Yeah.
We were like family. We cared for, cried with, and even cursed at one another. No matter how angry we were at one another, we always had each other's back. And once we discovered that we were more alike than we were different, we were inseparable. These ladies became my Sex in the City. They were my sister friends. Together, my sister friends and I founded women organizations, Shades. We had a logo, shirts, bylaws, everything.
Yes, girl. Couldn't tell us nothing.
We were fierce. I think my makeup is gone. Okay. We were a group of women from diverse backgrounds and education with a passion for making an impact in the world. It was great. Since my journey to healing was in infancy, I wasn't equipped to defend myself against the feelings of abandonment and paranoia. So the demon of self-hate made its way again into my life, and it goes on and it continues on with that. But I just wanted to read those parts because you ladies, I thank you for taking the journey with me and helping me to become the woman that I am today. So many of y'all have blessed me from 10 years ago or 14 years ago, I came to Atlanta. And y'all have blessed me. Y'all helped me to see that I am beautiful. I am enough.
And you won.
And I am successful.
Yes.
And I thank you, all of you, for helping me see that. And this book is just a blessing, a labor of love. So thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to Periscope Land. This is Lashana Williams again, CEO and founder of Women's Journey to Success. Buy the book. Buy the book. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Okay, yes, now we can.
And you're clear.
Okay, and we're clear. Thank you. Okay.